Hi, this is Rob Richards, owner of Rocky Mountain Sewing of Vacuum. We're here in Colorado, and we are so excited to start week 3 of our Quilt Show holiday pricing campaign. Everything to do with embroidery machines this week. Keep an eye on your email, on our social media pages for upcoming streams. Megan is actually getting ready to do a presentation on a couple of machines I think you'll really enjoy if you've ever wanted to start out in embroidery. And we have something special at the end to talk about, so don't go away, and take it away, Megan.
Hey guys, and thanks Rob. I can't believe we're already on week 3 of our holiday quilt show pricing. So today I get to nerd out with you guys about embroidery. So I'm just curious, how many of you guys have played with embroidery before or know somebody that you think would have a lot of fun with embroidery? I would love to hear it. Let us know in the comments below. But to get started, what I always think is a good idea before we really get into embroidery is explain what embroidery can do. So a lot of the time when we think of embroidery, we think of those like antique towels or hand embroidery or things like that. But there are so many ways that you can use embroidery to get creative. Today, the 2 machines we're going to be talking about are going to be the Baby Lock Flare and then the Brother NQ1700E. We decided to do both of these in one video because they're honestly kind of like sister machines. They're twins, except for one is made by Baby Lock, the other is made by Brother. These tend to be some of our most popular embroidery-only machines, at least when you're first getting started. And the reason why is because they have a lot of capability, but they are an embroidery-only machine. Myself, I love embroidering on a machine, or 3, and then sewing on another one because it just makes you feel so powerful that you can get 2 things done at the same time. And a lot of people agree with me. So they'll play with their sewing machine, piecing, or putting something together, and then their machine is ticking away in the background. To me, it's really fun to do the little embroidery dance, and it just turns out to be a really fun time. So let's talk about some of those things that you can do with embroidery though. With embroidery, of course, we can do our monograms, we can do our standard just embroidery designs. A lot of people do home decor, but myself, I like to do some of the fun stuff. So in the corner over here, I pulled it out of storage. A couple years ago, I made a kimono and I embroidered on the bottom of the sleeves. And what's really fun is I used metallic thread and I used a built-in design on my embroidery machine. So all of our embroidery machines come with built-in designs, and then you can always add different ones. So the rest of the samples that I brought for you have different ones from other manufacturers. So most of them, to be honest, are OESD because we love their designs and their products. But you can put whatever you want on your machine as long as it speaks the right language. One of the projects that I currently am working on is something like one of these guys, the little pumpkin. These pumpkins are really fun. OESD is known for their freestanding lace projects. And what I like is that you embroider each piece individually and then you put it together. So every year around Halloween time, I try to make a different pumpkin. This was last year's. I just used scrap fabric from my stash, which is really fun. But this year, I did a different one. I didn't even get it put together because I had to run to Pennsylvania and then we started this fun sale stuff. So eventually I'll have it built together, but this is going to be one of the panels for my newest pumpkin. Yeah? So with that, when you start playing with these fun projects and everything, one of the biggest things we see when people first start embroidering is they get what I call hoop envy. So with the Baby Lock Flare and the Brother 1700E, the hoop that they come with, the largest hoop size, is going to be a 6x10. A 6x10 hoop is fabulous because you can fit all sorts of designs in there. You can also fit things like tiles from a tiling scene, nice and easy in there, and have plenty of wiggle room. A lot of people, when they first start embroidering, and I'll admit, I almost did it too, is they'll go, oh, a 4x4 embroidery space isn't too bad. So I grabbed one of my 4x4 hoops here. That's a 4x4, but the only thing I can really fit in there is going to be something like this, which is fine. But if I want to do a crazy project like something like this, where I embroidered a design on the corduroy, that definitely doesn't fit in a 4x4 hoop. So a lot of people, when they first get started into embroidery, will mention to you that a 6x10 is a good way to start because it's a really decent size. It's not too small, it's not too scary big, but it's a good way to get started. And you can do so many different projects with them. The other thing about these machines, not only can you do all these different projects, Oh, I have one more actually. I also made this little guy last year. It's a cute little gingerbread wreath, also good for a 6 by 10 inch hoop. But with these guys, if you have something like a Brother Scan and Cut, you can actually, which I did on this one, cut it out on your Scan and Cut and then use the machine to put it all together, which is really fun. So hopefully that sparks a little bit of creativity for you guys, because embroidery can be such a fun project for you throughout the whole year, not just holiday season. With that though, some of the things that people get nervous about with embroidery is it going to be easy for me to understand? So I thought I would show you over on the Baby Lock Flare how easy it is to manipulate through the screen so you can set up whatever project you want to do. So over here, I'm going to go ahead and bring us to our home screen. And there are a couple features that I like to point out on these guys. So of course, we've got all these different categories. We have lettering. But one thing they do have is they have Wi-Fi capability. So with Wi-Fi capability, what that does for the machine is it makes it so I don't have to have a USB stick to put designs in. I still can use a USB stick, but I can also use Design Database Transfer, which is one of, Brother or Baby Lock's free programs that you can put on your computer to organize your designs, and you can just send designs straight to either one of these machines. Now, Brother does have a bonus. They have an app for your phone called Artspira. We have a couple of videos about that on our YouTube channel, so if you haven't checked it out, check it out. The app is free, and then there's some like subscription features that you can unlock if you decide to subscribe, but you can send those embroidery designs to the machine, you can sign your name, send it to the machine. There's so many capabilities for it. But let's hop back over to the interface on the machine on the Flare. So over here, I'm going to go ahead and hop into the exclusives designed. In here, they have lots of different categories, and I love that they use words, so it's easy to navigate. So I'm going to go into Celebrate because it's the holiday time. And I'm going to open up maybe this Christmas tree here, and we hit Set. So now on this edit screen, almost all of my buttons are actually words. That makes it really easy. So I can kind of move around with my finger. I can also move it a little bit, a little more precise, like that. The button I just pushed is actually built in tutorials on the machine too. So when you're sewing and it happens to be a Sunday and we're not in the stores, your machine does have your back, which is really cool. But then I can also add a design to this. So I can go in here and they've got lots of different fonts for me to choose from. This is great if you want to make labels, if you want to name something. My son has a lot of shirts where I put sassy sayings on them, so you could add those there. And then you can do something like Merry Christmas, and I'm going to go over Merry space and then go over. So on these specific machines, the 1700E, there we go, the 1700E and the Baby Lock Flare, you do kind of have to remember how to sing your ABCs to find the letters, but luckily we all know those pretty well. Makes it nice and easy. And you'll notice it tells me when I'm too big for the hoop that I'm using. So I just moved it from large to medium, and I should be able to fit everything. And now we can see it actually rotated my words that way. So I'm going to drag it where you can see it. Now, obviously, that wasn't the intention of what I wanted to do with this design. So I actually have a whole category specifically for font that pops up now that I'm working with lettering. So I'm going to go there, and one of my favorite buttons is the array button. And then I can curve my letters. And I can make it a little more curvy, a little less curvy, and make it more curvy. And now that I know it's a little bit smaller, I can rotate and then position it where I want it to go. So maybe I'll go move, make it center, and just drag it straight up so I know it's perfectly center. And there we go. So already I've made a design on the machine with its own patterns to make something really cute for Christmas. I think this would make a perfect little tea towel or one of the garden flags or even a pillow. So let's keep going and go from there. So on edit end, I can bring it here. And of course, I came prepared with samples, but I don't have a garden flag on me. But I can put my hoop in. Whoop. There we go. And then this is kind of like a positioning thing. So Lets me know if my needle's not in the right position. This is how I can use placement. Now we have lots of machines that have lasers and cameras and projectors, but these guys are going to be more of our more basic machines. So instead of those kind of fun features, it has something that's like a trace function. So right now it's telling me exactly where the top corner of that design is going to go. And I can bring it down to the other corner and do that. So on my first embroidery machine, I would do this all the time, and it would help me make sure that my design is exactly where I wanted it to go. When I'm happy with that, I can press OK. I can go to embroidery, and there's my embroidery screen. So of course, I'm not going to spend 20 minutes embroidering this for you guys, although it would be very cute. But what I highly suggest is if you are thinking about embroidery or know somebody who's thinking about dabbling into embroidery, bring them into one of our stores because we would love to show you more about these machines. We do have embroidery machines that are for sale online, but in the stores, you will see our whole selection, get to actually put your hands on it, and every single store, I go to all of them, so seriously, every single store has so many different cool samples, you're sure to get inspired. So, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have fun this embroidery week, and don't forget, come in and see us. Back to you, Rob.
Okay, thank you, Megan. That was amazing. The 1700 and the Flare are amazing machines to start with if you've ever wanted to begin your embroidery journey. And people always ask, why do I want an embroidery-only machine? Well, you may already have a machine that you love, you're used to it, you don't want to learn a new machine for the sewing side of your life, but if you want a great embroidery machine, those are two machines that are great to start with because of the embroidery field. Usually an embroidery machine that you start with is maybe 4x4, so this gets you right into being able to do larger designs. So come stop by, take a look at our machines. We have some excellent prices on our website. Also, you feel free to call us at this number here. We'd love to talk to you if you're outside of Colorado, and we can ship a lot of different machines outside of our state here. And then I'm going to do something special, and this is a limited stock item. So I can't tell you how many of these we have, just a small handful of these, but for the first people that buy an embroidery machine during this week, we're going to include this $1,400 Floriani Family Lace Mini Bundle. So it doesn't matter what embroidery machine you purchase, just mention that you saw this video and we will include this until we run out. And come